guys, and welcome back to another video of ECK Sports, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the Mallards and Eagles series. This series was very good with, dingers, walk-off dingers, strikeouts, flyouts, groundouts, all that kind of stuff. I have an important announcement to make. The game recaps of me recapping the game is now not going to happen because it's not really needed. You guys already see the games, and I already give my thoughts with the takeaways anyway, so we're just gonna go with the takeaways. And before I get into my takeaways, I want to just recap the series quickly. So in the first game, in game 1, the Eagles won 1-0, and Daniel also threw a no-hitter in that game. Game 2 was a very crazy game. The Eagles won 6-7. Daniel hit a walk-off home run. In game 3, the Eagles won. Every single game was by a 1-run margin, so it was a close series. But now, let's get into my thoughts and takeaways. My first one is Caden's hitting. Now, Caden this year, while he had a pretty strong first series, I believe after the first series he was hitting 235. Now he's hitting 120. That is a big drop off. And 235 is not bad. 235 is not great, but it's respectable. But 120 is not good. Kaden Irwin leads the league in strikeouts. He's striking out 27 times this year. He has a 649 OPS. He has 5 hits, but 4 of them came against the Wildcats, and he hasn't gotten a hit in 5 games, which means he didn't get a hit this entire series. It's kind of been a rough season hitting for Caden. Will Tommy ever pitch again? Now, this is really crazy because, you're like, oh my god, yeah, it's Tommy Coughlin, he's gonna pitch again. But if you really look at the highlights and stuff, his pitches are the same. They're kind of moving the same. It's just inaccurate. Not great. He looked more accurate against the Preds, but it wasn't moving as much. But his pitches were still moving decently. And then against the Eagles, his pitches were moving pretty well, but they were not hitting the zone. Tommy's injury is probably something to do with this, but will he pitch again? I'm not sure. Currently, I will say yes, he will probably pitch again, but I don't think he's going to be an ace again, which, if you told me that Tommy Coughlin would be in this position at the start of the year, I would not believe you. If you told me, oh, Tommy's becoming the number 2 at the start of the year, I would have said, yeah, I could see that. But if you would have told me he would be doing this bad, he's gotten mercied 3 times, I believe. One in this series, twice in the Preds series. Definitely not good. Finally, Daniel's hitting has came back. Now, before this series, he had 0 hits, but then he got 5 hits in this series, and he brought his batting average way up, and he got his first 2 home runs of the season. And before this series, I said Daniel is not an all-star. Now I think he is. So if I were to redo my ballot, I would have Daniel above Brendan Zerlak. And then Daniel's pitching, in the past 4 starts, 2 against the Cobras and 2 against the Mallards, he has only given up 1 run. That is elite. And he gave up 13 against the Diamondbacks, which is not good at all. But guys, his ERA was at 4.76, I believe, before this series. After this series against the Mallards, his ERA is 2.62. He has brought that ERA way down, and he is really proving himself that he is still a really good pitcher in this league. But it was definitely scary after that Diamondback series, because you're like, is he really a good pitcher? But it's solidified he is. And speaking of solidified great pitchers, you got Trevor Bonham. He has 56 strikeouts. Will he break the strikeout record? Man, that's really hard to say, because he's at 56 right now, and he's gonna have 12 innings of regulation left to pitch. So maybe some games are gonna have to go into extras. So if you do the math, if we were to get all 36 of those remaining outs, he would have 92 strikeouts. So is that really realistic? Not really. There's gonna need to be some extra innings, but this actually may be possible because of how bad the Mallards fielding has been. But even though their fielding is really bad, obviously Caden and Tommy know how to catch pop-ups, and they know how to make ground, and they know how to field ground balls, even though sometimes they make errors on them. So he's gonna need to have 35 of those 36 outs be strikeouts if he does not go into extra innings if he wants to break the record. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. He's going to have to go into some extra innings. All right, Bonham's hitting. Similar to Caden's hitting, it's gone way down. I believe after the first series, he was hitting 550 or something like that. Now it's all the way down to 258. That's a big drop off. And pretty much all of his production came in that Wildcat series. So to me, it's obvious that he was probably a little overrated from the Wildcat series. Now, I do think Trevor is still a serviceable hitter. I don't think he was that silver slugger type hitter that we were calling him after the Wildcat series. Now, listen, I really like Leighton Price. He seems like a really nice guy. There's one clear and obvious thing about Leighton Price. He is the worst hitter in MLW. I really like Leighton Price. It's really hard to bash him because of what happened with the lawnmower accident. I am bringing my true opinion to you guys, and my true opinion is that Leighton is one of the worst players in the league, and it's really sad. Guys, it's true. It really is true. And now Caden's pitching. Now this series, it was way better. He found a really good drop ball, so we didn't just have that sidearm riser that barely moved, which he had against the Wildcats. Now he has another really good drop ball, which is really useful. I think Caden should be the number 2 pitcher, and Tommy has just continued to struggle. I mean, he gave up another 6. Caden gave up 1, but I think Caden is the number 2 pitcher for the Mallards, and I think Tommy knows that. Last but not least, I'll be honest here, there were some bad managerial decisions by both sides. Now, more Dan than Tom, but let's start with Tommy. He had one big mistake. In extra innings, the innings limit does not count. So in the top of the 4th, the Eagles brought in Daniel, right? Daniel had a great inning. So what should the Mallards do? They should bring in Trevor. But no, they kept in Kaden Irwin. And what happened? Kaden Irwin gave up a walk-off home run. Now you're going to say, oh, they let Kaden Irwin pitch because he had a great inning the last inning. Oh, so did Dallas. Yeah, just pitched 2 scoreless innings in the 2nd and 3rd. You don't think that was a good decision by Tommy? And then on Daniel's side, he's got to stop this thing of, rotating players and sitting Zach and sitting Dallas. I mean, what are you doing? Like, I totally understand they swept the series, but he's doing this thing of rotating players where they have this thing of where everybody except Daniel plays 2 games. Now, I totally get that you don't want 5 players in your lineup. Like, I absolutely get that. And it's a smart thing to not have 5 in your lineup and to only stick with 4. But in game 1, the fact that they started Clayton over Neal and Zach just coming off the best series of his career? Come on. And then in game 3, they benched Dallas for Clayton? No. You're seriously gonna bench Dallas Allen? And then here's the bad part. I have to say this. I like Clayton. You just can't do that. You have to play Dallas all 3 games. Dallas should not be playing 2 games a series. I think we all know that. I don't like this whole rotation thing. I know a lot of Eagles fans and probably Daniel likes it, but I think they gotta stop it. And Dallas and Zach are having amazing seasons right now, and they should be playing every game. So those are my thoughts and takeaways from this series. My prediction for the next series, which is Wildcats Cobras. This was a really hard one to predict. I'm gonna say Cobras 2-1. I think Baranowski's pitching game 1, so he'll probably lose that. And then Drew's pitching game 2 and 3. I think he win both of those. So 2-1 Cobras is my prediction for the next series. Thank you guys for watching, and now Nuke and Web Gym of the Day.
Slider popped right to Tommy. Makes the play. Sweet shot, Daniel Schultz, go!